Breaking the Silence, a Transformational Journey. Part one of, I'm not sure how many at this point in time, but let's begin here. Breaking the silence is a healing force. You may be saying to yourself, what are you even talking about? I'm terrified to talk. I don't want to tell anyone my story. I was told you better not ever talk about what happened here. Um, what happens behind these closed doors stays behind closed doors. But I'm here to be an example, I suppose, that breaking the silence, telling your story, even publicly, helps. It helps me emotionally. It helps me face what happened. It helps me emotionally because I'm able to feel the feelings that are hidden in my heart, that are even hidden in my mind, in my subconscious, in my conscious, everywhere. Even within the cells of my body, my body cells have memories. And so by breaking the silence, by talking about it, not in a way that is meant to hurt others or even to hurt the offenders, but to tell my story with the purpose of sharing with others, that letting them know you're not alone. You're not alone in your story. Maybe your details are different, your experiences are different, the circumstances, the location, all may be different. But there are there's just oftentimes the biggest thing is what I hear people saying when they hear my story is, I didn't know there was someone else. I thought I was the only one. Thank you for sharing your story. And so the part I want to talk about tonight, very briefly, is in 2004, I began telling my story. And in other small videos, mini videos, I'll be talking more about that. But in 2004, I began telling my story. And honestly, I did not know that my life was not normal. I thought everything I'd been going through, that's just life. All the misery, all the anger, all the rage, all that stuff that I was hiding behind my facade, that nice face. When you put on that nice face and you're always smiling and so happy, but on the inside, you really want to murder someone? Well, that was me. And so what happened, I wish I could remember, it was probably 2011 when I was working, or maybe I had just finished working at the mission here where I live. And but I was still preaching and teaching at chapel services and leading worship, doing those kinds of things because the people are important to me. Their stories are important to me. And what I had done at that time, I really felt on that Wednesday night that I was going to be breaking the silence. I was going to share my story. And I went in early, like I always do, practiced my guitar. Man, I never played better, I sang the songs in worship. And I honestly never sounded better. Okay. And from somebody who's very self-critical, for me to say that, I was pretty good that day. And I just knew that was the day I was going to share what God had laid on my heart to share for the audience that was present. I just didn't know what was going to come, right? And so we can always expect opposition. And I didn't see this coming at all. So I was everything was set up when I had this thought, where's my water bottle? And I thought, oh, I must have left it in the car. And I left the chapel, went through the hallway to the back door, and went out because my car was like parked right there. But as I'm going down a few stairs, there's this man and I wasn't sure. I thought, is he trying to grab my breast or my purse? My purse was hanging over my shoulder. I was just really taken aback and just told him to move, kind of thing, because I had been an intake worker, and some people, you can't be nice with them. You need to be firm and assertive, and basically that's what I did. I just asked him to move, and he did. But I don't know. My mind was on preaching and singing and just really expecting God to move, and so I didn't see him following me. I opened my car door after I had released the lock, and I bent down to pull my water bottle out of the cup holder where I had placed it. And this man came up behind me and he grabbed me at a very private part. He did not have permission. I did not invite him to do that. He took his liberty. I was in such shock. I turned around and I grabbed him by the shoulders and I shoved him against the brick door. Not the door, it was the wall, the brick wall. And probably 2 or 3 times, I was so angry when the staff came running and some of the other clients came running to help me. This man never fought. He didn't do anything. He was just, oh, okay, that's what you're doing. So what happened to breaking the silence? Well, it didn't happen that day because I ended up instead recording a video for a police officer. He was recording me and I had to fill out a written report. And I watched this man be taken away. He was taken to jail. Now, the officer informed me that I wasn't the only one he had done that to. It was at least 13 other staff around the area where he had inappropriately touched them and sexually assaulted them. Now, that wasn't fun, not at all. It really threw me back, to some of the times when I first started dealing with my story. And my counselor actually said, I don't want you to go back to that place. That's not safe. I don't want you to go back there. But I trusted my mentor and I trusted that I would hear from God. And when the time was right, I did. And I did tell my story. I did play my songs. They're not my songs, they're worship songs. And it was a powerful, powerful service. And several men came forward and were crying, like just sobbing and telling their story for the first time ever and asking for prayer. So, breaking the silence. In my estimation, despite everything I went through, the extra counseling, I had to go through the extra trauma therapy. None of that was fun, but it was all important. To me, it was worth it for the sake of those who didn't know that they were not the only ones. Thank you for listening.